Hey guys, today we're going to explore the geography of ancient Egypt and how it shaped one of the world's oldest civilizations. By the end of this lesson, you'll understand why the Nile River was crucial to Egypt's survival and growth. Some of the things that we're going to discuss is we're going to look at the map of Egypt and the Nile River. We'll look at fertile land versus desert. We'll look at annual flooding and silt, and then we'll go over everything again with a little bit of summary. Let's look at the geography of ancient Egypt, and one of the most important features we'll talk about is the Nile River. The Nile River is the longest river in the world and it flows from south to north, which is the opposite direction of most rivers we study. This unusual flow is important because it brought water, rich soil, and transportation to ancient Egypt. Understanding the flow of Nile helps us see why Egypt's cities and farmlands were all located along its banks. Let's take a closer look at how geography shaped this life in ancient Egypt. So if you can see over here, we have the Nile River that is coming from the Mediterranean Sea. And then you can notice that it starts to flow downwards into the lands of Egypt. The land near the Nile is dark and fertile. That's that first photo up in the top. The land farthest away is dry desert. This contrast is why most Egyptians lived close to the river. The floods of the Nile brought water and rich soil perfect for farming. The Nile floodplain supported agriculture and was densely populated, which means a lot of people lived there and they were able to farm the land to have food. Beyond the reach of the river, Egypt's land was arid desert, making farming impossible. This means that this area was too dry to be able to grow crops that they might need to survive. Every year, the Nile would flood and leave behind silt, which is rich soil that made farming successful. This process was predictable and made it possible for Egyptians to grow crops like wheat and barley. Without this natural cycle, Egypt would not have survived in the desert. Let's review. The Nile River made life possible in Egypt. It gave them water, helped grow food, supported trade and transport, and allowed cities to develop. Geography was everything in ancient Egypt. As you saw, we went over that the Nile created fertile farmland in the middle of the desert. Floods provided rich soil for crops every year, which is your silt, and cities and trade developed along the river. They understood that by living close to the river that they'd have a better chance of surviving. Thank you for joining our lesson.